Okay, so Trinity Sunday, and that means it's time to explain to our kids here at Webster Gardens what the Trinity is. Easy. Piece of cake. Right, we know about the Trinity because Jesus told us about it. I mean, he tells us to baptize people in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. And Jesus does show us that he is somehow God and that the Holy Spirit is God too. But Jesus isn't the Father. And is it wrong to say the Holy Spirit is God? I thought God was God.
Right, we need an analogy.
How about an egg? I mean, you know, shell, yolk, egg white, shell. I like that. Doesn't work. Those are all part of an egg, but a yolk isn't an egg and a shell isn't an egg. How about a pie? You know, apples, filling, shell. I hear it. Same problem. An apple isn't a pie. Right, but the Holy Spirit is God, for sure. So what are you doing? Oh. Eating the bad analogy? What about an ice cube? Like, you know, sometimes water is ice, but then sometimes it's water, and sometimes it's steam. Isn't the Holy Spirit all cloud-like and descendy-y? No, that's even worse. That's like saying they take turns, that when Jesus is God, the Father isn't. So when Jesus is God, the Father is still God? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. My brain is starting to hurt. Are you sure it's not an egg? What if the uncreated ground of being is an intrinsically relational, trialogic reality from which all things are generated and emergent, and the very sustainer of the universe itself is what could only be described as a complete and unknowable vesen that we might call the Godhead? Or we could all just recite the Athanasian Creed. Now my brain is starting to hurt. So let's review. Jesus is God. God the Father is God, and the Holy Spirit is God. Right. Yes. But Jesus is not the Father, who is not the Holy Spirit, who is not Jesus. And we worship, glorify, and trust them equally as God. The Trinity. Right. So what's the takeaway? So I guess the big takeaway is this, that even though it seems confusing sometimes, we can remember God the Father is taking care of us, Jesus is always with us, and the Holy Spirit is helping us every single day. And no picture and no analogy is really ever gonna be big enough to capture how amazing he is. Who's preaching on this topic?
Hey, Will.
Thank Trinity.